WETV is investigating after a viewer called and complained about a house in her neighborhood.
She told us multiple sex offenders have moved into the home over the past few months, and she says children play nearby. So we took action to find out if there's a danger and who's behind this home.
Morgan Rodden lives in a cute, well-manicured house in West Charlotte.
I haven't had any problems in this neighborhood, and it's probably gotten a bad rap that it doesn't deserve.
Westover Hills is conveniently located near the interstates in West Boulevard.
5 minutes from uptown?
Yes, we walk to Panthers games.
So imagine Morgan's surprise when within 4 months she got 11 email alerts from Mecklenburg County's sex offender registry list, all about sex offenders moving in and out of one house down the street.
It's a block and a half from me, but even more importantly, it's right next to a playground and right next to the First Tee program that's dealing with youth.
First Tee, as it's called, is so respected. The kids involved helped a couple weeks ago at the Wells Fargo Championship.
And there are parents that are probably sending their children to First Tee that aren't getting the emails, even if they are getting them, for this area.
But the main concern isn't the youth program, it's the playground, very close by.
The house in question is the house behind me. State law says it must be 300 feet away from the playground, so we measured. State law also says it must be measured as the crow flies, so we did that too. We wanted to be accurate. We've arrived at the playground. It's 337 feet away from the house in question. As you can see from the sky, it's close. It's really close, actually, but it is legal.
Property records list a corporation in Florida as owner, but we found the leaseholder was a woman in Charlotte. Her name is Pastor Denise Lewis.
It takes the love of God to do the work.
Pastor Lewis runs a ministry called My Father's Choice Incorporated. It's a 501c3 that gives the homeless and sex offenders a place to live.
It's getting them off to the streets, making sure they don't return to the same behavior, the same habits.
Pastor Lewis employs some offenders at this Freedom Drive thrift store, which helps her charity raise money. She knows what you're thinking. Why would she help sex offenders?
The reality is that nobody wants to do it.
The answer is personal. She says she was raped as a young girl and is now called to help those who hurt her most.
I wasn't able to go to therapy, but somehow God took a situation and was able to heal me from the inside out.
Morgan says she can't argue with that. She's glad she reached out to us to get answers and very happy to be her community watchdog.
If you want your neighborhood to be good, you shouldn't expect somebody else to do that for you. That takes your work.
Pastor Lewis says there is a 24-hour-a-day house manager at that house where those registered sex offenders live. And doing this story helped open my eyes, Paul, to realize registered sex offenders who are out of jail need to live somewhere. There are rules in place to keep them away from kid places, but as you can see in that story, they can still be close, really close, and still be right there within the law.
How long has this housing been going on there?
Pastor Lewis has had the charity in Charlotte housing people for about 2 years. You can hear more from her on WBTV.com right now. It's in a web extra.